framed up correctly, looks about right. Okay, so let us begin. Feet at shoulder width, knees gently bent, back nice and straight, arms hanging down by the sides. Focusing into the core, deep inside the belly. Just gently move and turn. See how your back feels today. And then we can slowly develop this exercise. Open it up a little bit. And let the hands tap onto the sides of the body. Gently letting the forearm tap onto the tummy button, letting the wrist tap onto the small of the back. One of my students was questioning the technicalities behind La Qi. And just saying, I want to understand really how it works, and more importantly, why it works. So I thought there's never any harm in just going back and looking over the whole raison d'etre. And so we have to start right back at the very beginning with Dr. Pang's theories. The Dr. Pang is a very intelligent chap. A little bit of his story, first of all. He studied to be a martial artist as a child, and then he became a Tai Chi player of note, winning gold medals in China for his style. He studied Qigong from 19 different grandmasters. He studied 7 years to become a Western GP and a further 7 years to become a doctor of traditional Chinese medicine. And he developed his own styles. But all along, I think that, he must have been in that sort of 1950s, 60s, 70s sort of cauldron where Chinese science was also working along the same sort of rate as Western science into discovering how the universe works, what it's all about. And so in the 1920s, Max Planck and Albert Einstein were the two sort of foremost players. Einstein took one route and Planck took another. And most of the sort of laws of Einstein work to a good degree in practical sense, but there's a whole load of things that Einstein's that didn't make sense. And Planck seemed to be the other side of it. Max Planck of the Planck Institute fame, he seemed to be the other side, and he developed the ideas of quantum science. And the ideas of quantum science would have percolated through China as well. And Dr. Pang would have been well aware of those. And so I think that Dr. Pang has tried to make a system that equates what's going on with quantum science and how that relates to the 5,000-year-old thoughts of Qi. So to try and bring Qi up to date, I suppose, and try and make it paralleled to quantum science. So we look at our universe, and he says the smallest building block of the universe, which in Max Planck's eyes would be called a Planck, and it was 10 to the 64th or some extraordinary number small. Dr. Pang says this is called Hunyuan Qi, and our entire universe is stocked full of Hunyuan Qi. So all this sort of idea of emptiness and the void isn't actually the case at all. Our universe is full to the brim of these little Plancks of the Hunyuan Qi. And so as quantum science moved forward, it realized that it requires an observer to make this Qi, to make this energy do things. This is exactly the model that Dr. Pang came up with, which was that all of the Qi in the universe is undifferentiated until it comes in contact with information. our consciousness, our brains are the purveyors of information. So we use consciousness to move and change qi. And it fits perfectly with the Western quantum science idea. And so we understand that our universe is a huge ball of qi, and that at what they call the event horizon, the edges of our universe, there is a container, and this container is consciousness itself. So inside consciousness, you could almost imagine our entire universe like a cell wall, and all the things inside going on. Zoom it up a billion, trillion, zillion, million times, and you find that you have the entire universe that has a container around it of consciousness, and inside all these things going on. Okay, so let's just take our exercise, slow it down a little bit, and perhaps make it a little bit longer. Usual story: if you find yourself feeling dizzy, concentrate on pressing your toes one at a time against the ground. Put your mind in your toes. That's a Chinese idea, Yi Dao, Qi Dao. Where the mind goes, the qi flows. So that fits entirely with what we're talking about. Where the mind goes, the qi starts to, let's say, coalesce. So you start to plot an idea. You know, the image I often use is building a house. First of all, you have the spark in your head, and then you have these plans in your head, and then eventually your plans go down on paper, and eventually the paper goes to an architect and the builder and so forth, and eventually you end up with a solid object. But it started from this inspirational kind of ping moment where you think, ah, there we go, now I'm going to build a house. And so that is the process by which things come about. We use our mind and we generate ideas, and those ideas can eventually become solid, can actually become something, which can be brilliant, but it can also be bad. Everything has two sides. Every coin has two sides. So we have this idea that if we have a subconscious thought going on in the background, chuntering away, I'm not good enough, my father never loved me, my partner hates me, my job is terrible, whatever the story going on, you know, we might have been told it when we were 5 years old, but we still hold it at some deep level. It quietly ticks away, and it creates a toxic chemical compound which leaches through the body. So we have this idea that qi flows like rivers around the body. But what happens when the qi stops? Why would it stop? So a blockage of qi can be created by thoughts in your mind. So the standard image that was often used was the idea of a breast tumor, and the tumor could be removed, but then it might come back a year later. And the question was, you know, well, we took it out, why did that happen? Well, in Chinese medicine, the point about that is that qi and blood flow around the breast normally with no problem at all. But thoughts of how bad you are, you know, whatever, may bring about blockages. And eventually the qi that's flowing well starts to slow down and stagnates into a solid lump and becomes something. So the thought has actually created a reality. Seems like a harsh idea. Why would that happen to us? Well, a lump is a visible warning that something needs to change. Your body has had enough of these chemicals spilling into it. And now it's said to you, there, deal with that. Look at that, ask yourself why it turned up, and do something about the root cause. Okay, so that last part is my interpretation of what we do about it, and quite clearly not the Western interpretation. The Western interpretation is take drugs, take pills, take this, take that, cut that, slash, burn, because they don't recognize the root cause is in your mind. They think it's a malfunction of the machine. Okay, so let's slow gently down. We'll talk about how we employ La Qi to make this better. So put the hands in the earth and lift up. Gently pour the Qi through and down, deep into the belly. And release, and let it flow down. Gather. And lift. Gently pour. Gently pour. Gently deep into the belly. Allow that to continue down. Again. Let's take the next one and turn it into a forward bend. Plant the hands in the earth, lift Qi up. And then we're just going to allow that Qi to flow through the body as we've done before, but this time we'll just follow the hands down to our feet, drifting down, sinking down, relaxing down. Knees are soft, body relaxes, body hangs. Take the pressure off the back of the neck, let the body relax. Just find a comfortable hanging posture for a moment. So imagining our foot split into 4 pieces. First of all, we stretch towards the toes and release. Now imagine a line drawn between the roots of your toes. Stretch gently towards that and release. Imagine a line that's drawn between your insteps. Stretch gently towards that, gently deeper each time and release. And last towards the heels or as deep as you want to go. And relax and release, body hangs. Tailbone lifts up into the blue sky behind, and then it swings towards the front of the body. We build the spine up, join up arms and ears, bring them up as one piece. Stretching into the blue sky. Release knees and hips forward as you lean back. Stretching it up and gently back. Stretching up, gently back. Stretching up and back. Hands up into the blue sky. So we'll begin again. Head and ears go over, head and arms go over, and then arch into the upper back, middle back, lower back, and sink. Relax your way down. Let the back of the neck relax, let the whole body relax. Knees stay soft at this stage. Stretch gently towards your toes and just hold for a moment. And release. Toward the roots of your toes. And release. Toward the insteps. And release. And towards the heels. Great. Body hangs and relaxes. Tailbone lifts up behind. Tailbone pushes to the front, spine rolls up, arms and ears come up as one piece. Gently drawing up to full height. Stretch. Knees and hips go forward as you lean back. Stretching up and back. Up and back. Up and back. Hands up into the blue sky. Let's do some side bends. I forgot this last time. Left hand down. Right hand down. On the left. On the right. Good, then just bring both hands up in the air. Okay, so we're going to run through the whole thing again. This time, let's try and make the legs straight if possible. Okay, so lock the legs straight. Tip over the head, the arms, the ears. Roll into the upper back, the middle back, and the lower back, and allow the body to hang. Let the back of the neck relax and hang. Legs stay straight, so we can just shift the weight a tiny bit forward into the hamstrings, just to allow the hamstrings to lengthen a bit. Okay, so first stretch takes us down towards the toes and release, in line with the roots of our toes. And release, in line with our insteps. And release. Back towards the heels, nice deep bend. Release, relax, let the body hang. Lift the tailbone up behind, push the tailbone to the front, arms and ears together, come up as one piece, draw up to full height and stretch. Releasing the knees forward, you lean back, up, and gently back, up, gently back, up, and gently back. Okay, hands into the blue sky. Left hand curls down towards the back of the left knee. Just open up on the right side of the body. Right hand down. Let the left hand side of the body gently open. On the left. And on the right. Good, and then bring the right hand up. Last time through the whole process, legs straight once more. Tip over, head, arms and ears. Legs stay straight, curl down and relax down. Let the body sink. Just let the body hang and relax. Extend softly towards the toes and hold. Release. Towards the roots of your toes and release. Towards the insteps and release. Towards the heels. Release and relax. Lift the tailbone up behind, push the tailbone to the front, scroll the spine up, head, arms and ears come up as one piece, stretch to the blue sky, knees and hips go forward as you lean back. 2, 3, and 4. Down on the left side. Down on the right side. On the left. On the right. Good, and then draw your hands up above the head. Just allow the hands to pour qi through your body for a few moments. And then release the hands down. Okay, so we can gather qi from the earth a few times. So plug the hands in the earth, lift qi up. And pour qi down. Move the energy deep into your belly. Gathering qi. And pouring qi. Gather. And pour. Move the energy from the head deep into the belly. Center it in your belly. Then we can pull down one more time. The next time you can just bring your hands to rest on the belly. Okay, so the usual rule applies here. If you still feel a bit lightheaded, do this another 10 times. as many as you need. There is no shame. You just kind of have to get your body back into balance, and everybody's body is different. So 3 is normally enough. Bring your hands onto the belly can be quite a sort of settling thing as well. But if you find it's not, just go back to pulling down again. Just do that. Sometimes you need to do it 3 or 4 times. We just stand with our knees a little bit bent and our back nice and straight. The reason the knees are bent is because it shifts the weight softly forward to the front of the foot. When that happens, we also get this idea of the kidney point, Yongquan, on the sole of the foot, just sort of opening up, connecting into the earth below. So we can really exaggerate this lovely connection down into the earth just by bending the knees a little bit. Also, when the knee is bent, the qi flows much better through it. We make tiny little adjustments to the top and the bottom of the spine. So we just move our tailbone a tiny bit forwards and move our chin a tiny bit backwards. And that straightens the spine out, allowing qi to flow much better there too. We've got this tailbone slightly tucked forward, chin slightly drawn backward. We can then let the tailbone sink down as if we were sitting down on a qi chair. And then stretching the spine long. So now we have to find something that's sustainable for us. So we know the practice is going to go on for another 40 minutes or whatever it is. We have to find something we can manage. Perhaps you might have to put a chair behind you so you can sit down halfway through. What we don't want is for the posture to be disturbing you. So to be fair, sometimes it takes a few weeks to get into the hang of it, to get used to it. Sometimes your feet hurt a little bit. Sure, just give them a little shake out, move them around a bit if you need to. Sometimes your back starts to hurt. You can try sort of lifting the center of your chest up a little bit. Sitting down, back straight, tailbone a little bit tucked forward, chin tucked back, top of the head up into the blue sky, soles of the feet connecting down into the earth. Between the legs is a point called huiyin that sits between your genitalia and anus, and you just kind of lift gently up at that point. It's not something we're going to do for the whole class, but it's just a very gentle lift between the legs. It's a sort of a closing of sorts. From this point between the legs, and from the point on top of the head, there's a channel that runs through the center of your body. So from the top of the head by hui, the crown, down into the center of your brain, down into the center of your chest, down into the center of your belly, and down to this point between the legs. It's an axis of energy through your body. So this lift huiyin instruction just means we lift gently to close the bottom of that channel so it doesn't sort of flow out of our bodies. So we just gently hold qi inside us by lifting huiyin. Once we've done it once, we can just forget about it. We have our hands resting over the lower energy field. This is where the bulk of qi in the body gathers. We know that behind the breastbone, there's also more qi gathering there, and in the brain, more there. But this is the principal field in the belly. So our standing posture is designed to help us gather lots of extra qi deep inside the belly. Energy flowing up from the soles of the feet, flowing all the way up into the belly. Qi channeling down from the top of the head, all the way deep into the center of the belly. This is the core of you. From here, qi can be distributed all the way around the body. So the reason that lower dantian is here is that all of the qi channels run past this area of high concentration. So from an acupuncture perspective, this is really the sort of core feeder tank, if you like, for all of the channels that run around the body. Very easy to move energy from lower dantian into any of these organs and channels. So we just have this kind of energy building as we stand. So what of La Qi? So if we've discovered that our entire universe is made of Qi, ipso facto, so are you. So you're a Qi being. All of the energy of your body is Qi. All of the physicality of your body is information plus Qi. So we've been brought about by the information of our parents, by the information of the earth, by the information of, society, I suppose, all of these things. And we slowly build over 9 months into it. It's that extraordinary moment, sperm and egg, but it is the most powerful moment in the whole universe, where there's this fusion and explosion and creation, and a conscious being is created. So that this moment of fusion, which nobody can duplicate, nobody understands how it happens, nobody understands the beautiful ideas and theories and mechanics behind it. Qi and information explode into being. A baby is born 9 months later. So we are this fusion of consciousness with Qi. And as I say, the entire universe works that way. Consciousness moves information, and the information fuses with Hunyuan Qi and becomes something. So we have this very scientific term called entropy. The joke about entropy is you clean up a teenager's bedroom and then you come back 4 weeks later and see what state it's dissolved into. That's entropy. So entropy is this idea that things break down. And so that's the cycle of our life. We build up and then we gently break down. It's the cycle of a house. It builds up and it gently falls to pieces. It's the cycle of everything in our universe. Things are born, die, decompose, return back to the source, are born, die, decompose, return back to the source. That is entropy. It's the constant flow of things in our universe to gently breaking down. So it's a natural process. So what we have to do is understand that we can change the structure of anything in our universe using the correct information. You are a being of consciousness who is being expressed in this meaty body. So consciousness is the same for all of us. There is only one consciousness. In the past, this consciousness has been known as God, the Almighty, all there is, the all-seeing eye, Mother Nature, whatever it might be, that we've understood to be this unified being, this unified mind. This unified mind expresses itself through us. So you're part of this beautiful consciousness game. Consciousness wants to live through you and for you to learn things and experience things and add more to the field of consciousness. So every discovery you make widens the field of consciousness. Every time you suddenly have a moment where you think, there we are, consciousness learns, and consciousness is constantly learning through every human on earth. We then discover that every single one of us is the same consciousness. You are me, and I am you. We have this complete illusion that we're totally separate. And because of the illusion, it allows us to bomb people in Ukraine, kill people in Russia. It allows us to have world wars because we're apparently different. But if we understood that we are all made from the same consciousness, playing the same game, then the life would be a very different life. The world would be a very different place. So what does this mean to you? It means that life has battered you about. It means that life, the school of hard knocks, that you have taken on stuff along the way. People have told you stories. You're a very bad boy. You'll amount to nothing, things like that. And those stories go in at some deep level. So if you think about a war on a countrywide level, then we zoom it down. There's a war going on in your head. The things that your consciousness says to you, you wouldn't accept your best mate saying. So we have these extraordinary stories in our head, things we've been told for years. We've been told them, we actually believe that they're true about us, but all of them belong to someone else. Your father told you that. Your mother showed you that. Your uncle did that to you. The whole of these things are things that other people have done, not you. Okay, so there's a whole layer of stuff that you've decided about yourself as well. Oh, I don't seem to be very good at maths. Oh, I'll never be loved by anybody. Those are also stories that your ego has decided to tell you, but they're not true. So your beautiful consciousness is covered over by layer after layer of these terrible stories made up by ourselves, made up by our ego, made up by our family, made up by society, made up by religion, made up by doctors. All of these stories, none of it is true. The only truth is your consciousness. The only truth is your consciousness. But your consciousness cannot get through the layers sometimes. We have to take the journey and root out the things that are blocking the path of consciousness. Those things that, as I mentioned before, that can become solid. Those things that can actually become so real in our minds that they will actually manifest themselves in our bodies. That's how powerful those thoughts can be. So now we use the amazing tool, Qi, to break those patterns. Just a little sideline here. It was one of my students who said to me, gosh, when I can't meditate well, what I do is I take an inventory of the thoughts that are bothering me. Where did that thought come from? Where did that thought come from? Why was I thinking about, that? What made me angry? And so he would stock take his thoughts. Unsurprisingly for men, there's a category called sex, that thought box, father, mother, school, religion, money, love, all these pigeonholes. You think a thought comes up and you find yourself thinking about, I don't know, an old relationship. You think, why on earth am I thinking about that? Why has that come up? You think, oh, that fits into that box, love or sex or whatever it might be. And after a while, you soon start to find that varied thoughts come from a few sources. Oh, it's another thought about money. Might be about a car. The next one might be about a house. Well, that's another thought about money. The next one might be about the lottery. Another thought about money. The next one might be about, a bill you have to pay. Oh, it's about money. So all of them come from this root of money. And you have to sort of say, where does that come from? Why am I so worried about money? Why do I have 20 thoughts about money every hour? Oh dear, it just sounds like my dad. He was so worried about money all the time. And then you think, there we are. We've found the root. And then you think, oh, well, actually, Dad was always like that. He always had enough money, but maybe it was Grandpa who was the one who always told us about money. He was always saying about money. So you find this family root. Not always family, but sometimes family, And you think, okay, I'm going to dissolve that root. I'm going to let those problems go. Those were my dad's problems. Those were my granddad's problems. They're not mine. So I'm going to do my La Qi today and imagine all of those problems dissolving. Let go of money worries. Let them dissolve. Let them go. Let them go back out into the universe. Let them become part of the Qi field once more. Out of my personal Qi field, back out into the universal Qi field. Letting go at the deepest level. So when we let go of something, perhaps we're going to leave a hole. What would you fill it with? We're certainly not going to fill it back up with money worries, are we? We're just going to fill it with sunshine. We're just going to fill it with happiness. Perhaps we're just going to fill it with money. Whatever, you know. Don't get too hooked on how the whole system works. You don't have to be precise about this. You don't have to think about, you know, gas bill number 79446, dissolve it, and then bring back, you know, bank account £5,227, whatever. You know, let's get too technical about it. When we're letting go, we're just letting go of all financial problems. They just disappear. And coming back is you feeling happy and totally at ease. So that's an idea of how you might use La Qi. Perhaps it's not something you could even dig into. Perhaps you can just think, God, I wish things had been better with my mum. Fair enough. Then just let the whole of the relationship with your mum be the thing that you're dissolving. And bring back and just realize that in everything we do, there's always bad parts and good parts. So you can just let go of everything that didn't work. And you could bring back total healing. Healing for your relationship between you and your mum, a perfect working relationship. Be she alive or dead, it makes no difference because there is no time and no space. So in quantum science, they talk about time going backwards and being no time and things like that. And they haven't quite got their handle on time. But time is just a tool that the ego has created to make this life trundle along, to give it a kind of a passage, if you like. And so, yeah, time can be a tyrant, totally controlled by our egos. Maybe time's your problem. You could always let time dissolve and go into a place of no time for a while, let your mind settle and quiet. So all along, we're wondering about what to do with our bodies. Sometimes they get sore when we stand. Just sit if you want to. Sometimes I find I need to move my hips because the small of my back is a little bit stiff. Sometimes I just gently do a swirl hips while I'm standing. Sometimes I just move my tailbone forwards and backwards just to loosen off the lower back. So tiny little movements, no problem. A static posture on the face of it, but actually it's not really static at all. There's micro movements all the time, just adjusting for your feet, just adjusting for your shoulders, just adjusting your chest. Okay, so the actual practicalities of La Qi. We can now open our hands and just have them gently in front of the belly. How would you visualize a relationship? Perhaps you just put an image of your granddad between your hands, just enough to let you know that you're working there. When you bring your hands apart, all of that dissolves. When you bring your hands back together, perhaps it is just sunshine. So the only thing that's going to limit you in La Qi is your visualization. Don't be bogged down by trying to get anything very precise. Use your imagination, use your instinct to find the thing that needs working on and then gently dissolve it. So allow your hands to softly open, relax. Bring your hands gently together. Doesn't matter what size. Sometimes Dr. Pang says 6 centimeters to 10 centimeters. That's a tiny movement. Perhaps it's just a little grapefruit becoming a melon back to a grapefruit. Perhaps it's bigger, like a beach ball, and then it goes back down to a tennis ball. Whatever, it doesn't really matter. You find the distance. You don't even have to move your hands at all. You could just leave your hands on your belly and imagine everything dissolving beautifully. And imagine drawing back everything in perfect working order. So the problems in life are so diverse that I can't possibly help explain. You are the only person who can build this. But be it a physical tumor that you're dissolving, or be it a childhood relationship problem, Just let that dissolve. Just remember this. You are not your story. Remember another thing as well. You're not your mother. You're not your father. You're not your brother. All of those people are completely different, born at a different time, under a different sign. So don't try and compare your life to theirs. Don't think, oh, something went wrong with my mum, so it's definitely going to happen to me. No, absolutely not. Everything is different for you. And the thing that is radically different is that you are doing Qigong to heal yourself. So you need take on nothing from a former generation. It's not relevant. It's not your story. You need to hold on to nothing that you have learned or been told in this life. That's just a story, and it's not your story. So we open our hands and dissolve all of our problems. We bring our hands back and feel that those problems have been rectified. Gentle movement in and out. So this is in effect the movement of the entire universe. A wave, a pulse. And so you gently are waving your hands backwards and forwards. And you're in tune with the entirety of the universe. Our entire universe works on this form of gently moving, a gentle eddy, a gentle current, a gentle wave of energy. So now we work away, healing at the deepest level, letting the body dissolve, bringing Qi back. The last thing we can do to amp the whole process up is to vocalize this. Because we're doing a Chinese exercise, we often use the Chinese terms. Opening the hands is called Kai. Closing the hands, the Chinese word is He. So Kai is very simply open and He is very simply closed. That describes the movement of your hands, but there's so much more to it than that. Kai means dissolve, let go. He means bring back, gather. And even those two translations don't really give it justice. So don't be hooked on the idea, I'm opening now, I'm closing now. We're letting go, we're dissolving, we're letting everything out into the universe. And then we're gently drawing back lots of healing information into our bodies. So let's work with that ideal then. Whatever it is you choose to work on today, you've no doubt been working on it for a little while. Let's just work together. We can say Kai and Her out loud if we wish, or you can stay silent and listen. You can say Kai and Her in your head, whatever suits you. Dissolving the principal idea. And then we use Her to bring back healing energy. No longer thinking of the problem anymore, because we don't want to give the problem any power. So we don't repeatedly say the tumor, the bad relationship, the lack of money, don't keep on saying it because you're giving it power. So we just think about it once, and then after that, we're just letting everything dissolve, 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 and open. And when we gather back, we bring back healing power for the entire body. The truth of the matter is that you cannot know exactly what your body requires. So we just allow the universe to take care of us. We allow the universe to pour the Qi in. So when we first do our La Qi, we can say, I am healing this broken knee. Once you open and dissolve it, I'm bringing great energy back in to heal this knee. And then after that, just let the whole body dissolve and open, bring back healing energy. So we don't reinforce as Western psychology loves to do. We just dissolve once, and then we just heal from then on. Couple more. Let's just think about the technicalities one more time. Imagine that that blockage in your spine is made of qi. That sore knee is entirely qi. That tumor is just entirely qi. So what are we going to do with it? When we open our hands, we're going to let the whole area dissolve. So if it's a bone you're working with, for instance, just let the whole thing dissolve out into the universe, to your qi field, into the room, into the universe, let it go. And then from this vast, vast universe, we bring back the blueprint for a perfect joint, a perfect bone, a perfect breast, whatever it might be. So also, you might be working with an organ. You know, imagine your kidneys dissolving, dissolving, dissolving out into the universe. When you come back, all you think of is a perfect set of kidneys working really well. You know, your teenage kidneys, if that's a good image for you, or, you know, somebody else's kidneys, whatever it is, something really powerful. So just dissolve and let go. Come back and bring this amazing qi into the body. Let go at the deepest of levels and bring the qi inside. Let go of all of the problems that have created this outcome. And now we bring huge healing into the body. Open the hands. Draw energy in. Two more. So sometimes you can become very scared. Suddenly your kidneys are triggered. Fear floods through your body. Think, oh my God, this is going to happen to me. I know it is. What's happened there? Sometimes we get these crazy flows of qi that burst through the body, triggered by an emotion, triggered by something we've seen, triggered by a thought. How it came about, we don't know. Just one word can be a trigger for it sometimes. You hear the word tumor, then you think, I've got a pain in my back. Then you think, oh my God, I've got a tumor. Have I got a tumor? And then panic ensues. It's called a qi reaction. And it's a very good thing. So don't worry about it. Just look at it and see it and think, wow, gosh, I had quite a spin out there. What happened to me? So sometimes our relations set you off. Off you go into a hole. And then you can just stand back from it and think, well, why did I let that trigger me? Well, there's obviously something deep there at a family level I haven't sorted out yet. Let's just take that relationship and dissolve it gently using Kai to dissolve the relationship, and her to bring back happiness between me and that person. So every time you have an emotion, every time you have a reaction, you think to yourself, why? Why did I react so strongly to that news on TV? Why did I cry when I heard that story? Why did I shout because when that person said that. You think, there's got to be some emotions deep behind that. What are the emotions? Oh God, it's all about my childhood. I hate being told that by my, brother, my sister, my father. And then you think, no, let's just dissolve that story now. Don't need it anymore. God, could do with not having to react like that again, ever. Let's dissolve it, let it go. So sometimes you get Qi reactions, very strong reactions. Panic ensues in your body. Fear flies through. Anger raises up. Worry washes over. Anxiety builds. Why? What triggered it? Go deep. Look at it. Everything is a set of chemicals in the body. What set the chemicals off? How do I dissolve it? Even if you have a hunch, well, that might be about school or something like that. Just gently try and forgive by dissolving and letting go, bringing back amazing healing energy into that area of your life. Work again and again to reveal these things and dissolve these things. Feel that you can heal yourself at a deep, deep root level. And as soon as you deal with this problem at a deep root level, then the physicality will start to change. Sometimes people live with illnesses for 10, 20 years, and they're completely happy. And the doctors keep on saying, oh, you've got this lump somewhere. And you sort of say, well, I don't care. It's not affecting me. I'm very happy. Thank you very much. When we dig in at the deep root level, the body really should start to resolve the physicality as well. But the question you have to ask yourself on a daily basis is, do I feel happy? Do I feel well? Oh, great. There we go. That's all that we need. Another positive day of happiness and wellness, all that's required. If there's a doubt in your mind when you ask yourself that question, then work with it, like Qi. Yeah, well, there is something that's worrying me about X, Y, Z. Good. Dissolve it. Let go. See the whole thing dissolve. Bring back a perfect future, perfect working version of whatever it is. No time, no space in La Qi. If you want to dissolve a forthcoming meeting, gosh, I'm really worried about seeing the doctor, the dentist, the lawyer. So we just think about that time. Let the whole worry dissolve and open out into the universe. Bring back an incredible, perfect meeting into your life. And then just see how it goes when you get there. A couple of days later, you'll walk in, you'll think, oh, that was much better than I expected it to be. That's because you chose to do the work. That's because you dissolved all your problems around it. All of your bad connections went, and then you were left with this perfect moment. So let's just heal ourselves a couple more times with La Qi. Whatever it is you want to work with now, open the hands. Couple more times. Maybe the next one's a little quiet. And the last two, in total silence, just moving the hands. Good, just bring all the focus back. Let's gently bring a ball back onto the belly. Just holding a ball of qi on your tummy button. Gathering all this energy deep inside. Just understanding that this work we've done, now everything is taking place. The deepest level, your consciousness is evolving. Your ego is changing. The patterns are breaking. The story is changing. You are changing. You are healing. Allow your body to heal at the deepest level. Allow every cell to heal at the deepest level. Allow every story and cell to change, filled with light, bright energy, flowing through. So let's just step on qi to bring our feet together into a closed posture. And then we bring our hands up in front into the prayer position. Let's close out from here. Draw the hands up over the top of the head and up into the blue sky. And then let the hands drift down a bit, soften the knees, open up little fingers, ring fingers, middle fingers, split the hands apart down to shoulder height. With a scoop, gather qi round and send the qi deep inside. Upper dantian qi is abundant, blood and qi flowing well. All functions of the brain, perfect working order. Drift the elbows back, let the hands just come back to lightly touch under the arms, stab out. Send qi deep inside. Imagine you can fill the middle dantian with qi, and that fills up your lungs, fills up your heart, spleen, pancreas, your liver, your kidneys, abundant with qi, working well, all functions normal. Drifting the hands back behind, the back of the hands come towards the front of the body. We turn the palms over, sweep qi out into the blue sky, bring some back for yourself. Traditionally, it would be left hand first for guys, right hand first for ladies, but whatever seems to work for you today, just place your hands on the belly button and let the qi gather deep inside your body. Lower dantian qi is abundant, blood and qi flowing well. Let's sweep this qi from lower dantian up the spine into the brain, to your neck and your shoulders, down your arms to your fingertips, whole of the spine, the ribs, upper torso, middle torso, lower torso, down into the hips and the pelvis, down into the thighs, the knees, the calves, the ankles, the feet. An abundance of qi throughout the whole body and all functions of the body returning to perfect working order. Everything in your body normal. All functions perfect working order. Gently circle your hands round the belly button 3 times. Gently pause and then head back in the opposite direction, 3 in the other direction. So the first 3 gather excess energy, and the second 3 send a message to the body. Lock and hold this qi deep inside my belly. Keep it there for when I need it the most. All of your body is filled with qi. Every cell of your body filled with qi. Imagine yourself in a protective shield of qi. It's called your wei qi layer. It's like sort of 2 or 3 centimeters around your skin, a beautiful protective layer of qi, front and back, above and below. And now the qi body, a meter in front, a meter behind, a meter above, a meter below. This vast qi body protecting and connecting you out into the outside world. Imagine yourself a being of light inside your shield of energy, safe. Every cell in your body safe. Every cell in your body working well. All functions, perfect working order. Everything normal. Let the hands drift down by the sides. Put a big smile on your face. Slowly open your eyes. Bring your fingers into movement. Bring your toes into movement. Let the body stretch out a little bit. And then if you'd like to unmute yourselves, we'll all say Hao La together. So Hao La means good already. Everything is already sorted. We'll say 3 times. Put the hands up in the air. 1, 2. Ha. 1, 2. Ha. 1, 2. Ha. Lovely. Thank you very much, everybody. We make a little salute for each other. You just take your right hand and you put it flat, palm up, and put your left hand on top, and then you draw the fingers together, and then you put the thumbs on top. So it's called entirety hands. Thank you very much, everybody. Really good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye. Bye. Have a lovely sunny day.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.